Caden's mind couldn't accept that Damon found his mate, but Caden didn't have an alternate explanation for Damon's bizarre behavior. If that girl is Damon's mate, why didn't he say something? Maya rolled her eyes. Because that's Damon. He won't admit it even if you ask him outright. But think about it. Erratic behavior, one moment he wants to leave and the second one we stay? Since when does Damon refuse a free meal? He requested a tour of the Red Moon Pack, and you know that he always avoided those because when he saw things he didn't like, Damon never stayed quiet. And in the car, Damon stuck to the girl, and we both saw how gentle he acted with her. The only explanation is that he found his mate. Maya pointed at the phone. Caden, you know better than anyone how much Damon cherishes the Dark Howler's pack. He wouldn't risk provoking the Red Moon Pack by smuggling a random woman. She's either his long-lost sister or his mate. Caden remembered how, when he met Maya, the only thing he wanted involved being with her, and nothing could get in his way, not even war. Everything Maya said made sense and pointed to the possibility that the girl who came from the trunk represented Damon's mate. Maya always showed intelligence. Caden chuckled with a hint of evil sparkling in his eyes. Damon doesn't want to admit that the girl is his mate? Let's see how long he can pull that off. Maya had a bad feeling about this. She would never consider going against Damon, even if it's a joke. However, Caden didn't have problems with it. What do you have on your mind? Maya asked reluctantly. Let's observe, for now. Caden said while rubbing his chin with the tips of his fingers. Caden didn't want to share too much with Maya, knowing that she wouldn't approve and probably worry. But Damon gave a hard time to Caden ever since he found Maya, and Caden thought how this presented a great opportunity to get even. Caden noticed one more oddity. Assuming that Talia represented Damon's mate, something didn't seem right. She appeared indifferent toward Damon. Did she not know Damon represented her mate? Damon said how something seemed off with Talia's wolf, but based on her scent, Caden knew she definitely belonged to werewolves, and he concluded that nothing seemed wrong with her. If Talia is Damon's mate, there existed so many things Caden could do to rile up Damon. And if Damon hid the truth, it would only make things easier for Caden. Caden's smile widened while he thought of wicked ways to mess with his alpha. He could try to separate them, or to make Damon believe he had competition. Caden would pay big money to see Damon drowning in jealousy. Ha! This would be fun. Maya observed Caden's expression that changed rapidly, and she knew that Caden came up with something Damon wouldn't like. Damon and Caden stood at the helm of the largest pack in North America, yet the two of them sometimes behaved no better than toddlers. However, that childish and playful attitude Damon showed only toward Caden and not for anyone else, Damon had a nasty temper. If that woman really represented his mate, Damon would only be more irritable if anyone messed with her. Maya disconnected the video call so that Damon and Talia had privacy. Maya felt happy for Damon. Finding a mate brought wonderfulness for any werewolf. They gave each other comfort and purpose in life, and she understood how Damon felt lonely under that grumpy facade. Would Talia make a good Luna? Well, if Damon and Talia represented mates, Talia would become their Luna, regardless of her readiness for the job. But Maya didn't worry. Everything could be learned as long as there existed a will, and Maya would happily hand over her current duties to Talia so that she could focus on helping Caden as a beta. At the same time, Maya felt sorry for Talia. Damon didn't present an easy man to be with, and Talia would definitely have a hard time. I don't think Damon will wake up the girl, Caden said. That gives us probably a few hours. He wiggled his eyebrows mischievously while inching closer to Maya in slow motion. Talia dreamt that she stood in a forest. It appeared light and airy despite the massive trees that surrounded her. She picked up a delicious scent of dark chocolate, and her tummy rumbled. She felt hungry. Talia started moving about, trying to locate the source of that scent. It had been years since she ate chocolate the last time, and she really wanted to have some now. She walked slowly at first, but then she broke into a run as the scent became more potent, inviting her to enjoy the smooth, sweet delicacy. Suddenly, a tree appeared out of nowhere, and Talia slammed herself into it, just like in cartoons, with her arms and legs around it. "Ah!" Talia cried softly, and her eyes fluttered open. There existed no forest and no tree. Damn it. It represented a dream, a potentially tasty one. She wished that it lasted only a few more seconds so that she could get a bite or two of that delicacy that called for her. Maybe if she closed her eyes, she could resume that dream and find the source of that mouth-watering scent. Talia thought how something didn't seem right. She ascertained that she woke up, however, she could still smell the forest and the dark chocolate, and she definitely hugged something. Talia blinked, and her drowsy state turned into panic immediately. She found herself in an unknown room, and the thing she hugged didn't represent a tree, but a sleeping alpha. What the heck? Why did their legs lay one over the other? And why did his biceps serve as her pillow? Talia carefully removed her hands from Damon's body and tried to move away from him, only to realize that she couldn't move. Ah! His arm encircled her and she couldn't budge. She felt like crying. When Damon told her to come with him, he mentioned a room and clothes and food and a doctor, and there existed no mentioning of this. Hugging. Talia wondered, how did she find herself in this situation? The last thing she remembered involved dozing off in the back of a car. How did she end up in a room, in the bed, with an alpha holding her against him? Talia wanted to go back to her attic, or maybe into the trunk of the car. Anything seemed better than here. She noticed the even fallen rise of his chest, and she concluded that he slept, so she relaxed a bit. Talia looked up at the man beside her, and her breath hitched at the sight of Damon's gorgeous visual. His unruly raven hair fell over his forehead, long lashes, full lips, strong jaw. Everything about him looked handsome, even the small bump at the base of his nose and a day-old stubble. It should be illegal to be this attractive, Talia thought. No wonder Princess Marcy raged at the thought that Alpha Damon might think bad of her. Talia shook those thoughts away and chided herself. She should not think of Alpha Damon as attractive. Actually, she should not think about him at all. Talia painfully understood her non-existent background, and if she allowed herself to see Alpha Damon as anything more than her benefactor, as someone who took pity on her, she would only deceive herself and end up hurting.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.